Funky.
When it comes to trying new foods, many of us start with how appetizing it looks. This weird-looking fruit called the rambutan may look like it's dangerous, but it's actually quite tasty. This inspired us to create a list of the exotic foods that can kill you. Giant bullfrog. What's so dangerous about eating frogs? After all, the French have been eating frogs' legs for a long time, and it hasn't killed them. In this case, things are a bit different. The giant bullfrog, or Namibian bullfrog as it's also known, can weigh upwards of 4.5 pounds and is a source of food in some parts of Africa. People who eat this need to be careful, however. The skin and organs of this frog are highly toxic. The poison can cause everything from painful urination and kidney failure to death. To lessen the risk, those who cook up these massive frogs line their pots with wood, which is supposed to absorb the excess poison. Kepayang. Also known as Pangia medulae, this Southeast Asian tree produces a large nut that some people eat and use as a spice in cooking. The catch here is that the fruit contains a very high level of hydrogen cyanide, which can be deadly to humans. In order to make sure that your kepayang fruit is safe to eat, you must first boil it in water and then bury it in a mixture of ash, banana leaves, and dirt. After around 40 days, the toxin will be gone and the fruit and seeds can be used to prepare any number of regional dishes. Baby octopus. At first, you may think that this exotic food isn't that dangerous. After all, many of us have had calamari or other types of related seafood. This South Korean delicacy is a little different. Also known as sanakji, this food is the chopped tentacles of a baby octopus. In fact, this dish is delivered to you so fresh that the tentacles are still moving. What's so dangerous? While there isn't any poison, novices who try this dish have been known to choke to death when the still alive suction cups stick to the inside of their throat. It's another good reason to chew your food before you swallow. Cassava root. If it wasn't for the cassava root, we wouldn't have tapioca pudding. Found in South America, Africa, and parts of Asia, cassava isn't extremely useful and important in the food world. That said, this exotic root is potentially deadly if not prepared right. That's because, in addition to being rich in protein, vitamins, and carbohydrates, cassava contains a compound called linamarin. Linamarin itself isn't deadly, but when it's introduced to the human digestive system, it breaks down into deadly hydrogen cyanide. This toxin can affect vision, speech, and cause paralysis in the limbs. Naturally, too much will lead to eventual death. Blood clams. Clams are a favorite of many people all over the world. Like many types of food, lack of proper cooking can leave dangerous viruses and diseases that can be harmful. The blood clam, or blood cockle, tops this list of potentially deadly mollusks. Found in the Indian and Pacific Oceans, the blood clam is a significant food source in coastal China. If you're ever offered one, make sure it's been very well cooked. Or better yet, just say no. That's because this clam is rarely cooked, if at all, long enough to kill the viruses and bacteria which are commonly present. Eat a raw or undercooked blood clam, and you risk getting hepatitis A and E, or even typhoid and dysentery. Stonefish. One of the most venomous fish in the world, the stonefish is also eaten by many people. Actually, the danger to people isn't from eating the stonefish, because the heat from cooking essentially neutralizes the venom. Instead, it's the act of preparing this fish that can be dangerous. Thanks to the venomous spines along its back, any chef must be very careful in preparing this fish. A sting is very painful and can cause death to tissue in the immediate area. Other side effects include seizures, paralysis, and shock, which can lead to death if untreated for too long. Pufferfish. Another extremely poisonous fish, the pufferfish is considered a delicacy in Japan. The big thing you need to make sure of if you try this exotic food is that the chef who prepares it knows exactly what he is doing. This isn't just a regular fish which you fillet and throw on the grill. The pufferfish is full of a deadly tetrodotoxin found in certain organs and flesh. If you're served a contaminated piece, you'll know pretty quickly thanks to some obvious signs. Symptoms include vomiting, increased heart rate, decreased blood pressure, and muscle paralysis, which can stop you from breathing. Needless to say, chefs who handle this food need to be properly certified. Ackee. This is the national fruit of Jamaica and is as deadly as it is beautiful. Looking for it in your local market won't help because many countries have banned its import. That's because this fruit can cause a lot of problems. Specifically, eating an unripe ackee, its pods or seeds, can cause some pretty unpleasant side effects. First, you start vomiting, which is followed up by seizures and loss of consciousness. Untreated, and you will likely die. The culprit chemical in the fruit is called hypoglycin, and it does its damage by lowering the victim's blood sugar. Even cooking or canning doesn't get rid of the hypoglycin, meaning this fruit can stay dangerous long after it's been picked. Silver striped blassop. Like the stonefish and pufferfish, the silver striped blassop is a potentially deadly exotic food. Originally found in the Indian Ocean, this fish can now be found in the Mediterranean Sea, where it killed at least 10 fishermen in 2007. Unaware of what they were about to eat, these people had no idea that this fish has deadly amounts of tetrodotoxin in its skin, liver, and reproductive organs. Failure to properly prepare the fish can mean ingesting the deadly toxin. Like the pufferfish, improperly handled meat can cause all sorts of issues, ranging from circulatory problems to paralysis and death. Monkey brains. We bet you thought that people eating the brains of monkeys only happened in the movies. Well, it turns out that monkey brains can be found on offer outside of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. In fact, unlike the other foods on this list, monkey brains can kill you quite slowly. This is because they potentially carry something called variant Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. Similar to mad cow disease, this sickness destroys your brain, killing you slowly. Those affected lose the ability to walk and talk as the body shuts down. So when you get offered monkey brains the next time you're out, just stick with the chicken.